So the book you need to read before you rule out a vocation to the Missionaries of God's Love is this book. It's A Radical Way of Love by our founder, Father Ken Barker. So Father Ken founded both the MGL Priests and Brothers and also co-founded the MGL Sisters together with Patty Jo Crockett. So when I read this book, I remember I was discerning religious life and I wasn't sure if I was called to the Missionaries of God's Love. I actually wasn't charismatic at that time, and so I wasn't sure if this charism was for me or not. But I still remember driving to work. I was on the train on my way to my job as a youth minister at a Catholic high school in the outskirts of Adelaide. And I remember my heart just being really on fire as I read all about the vows of poverty, chastity, obedience, and the way of life we live as missionaries of God's love. So we live a life of prayer, of brotherhood or sisterhood, and of mission. And this book sums up all of the history of the MGL as well, how God has called this order out of the Australian church in the 1980s and out of a lay covenant community called the Disciples of Jesus. So it's an incredible story. It's really a miracle of God's grace in the church in Australia, and one that's blessed so many lives. And my heart was just on fire as I read it, because I knew that God was calling me to serve the church in evangelization, and I felt really attracted to living a life with other young women, living this life and praying together, going out on mission together and supporting one another to make God known and loved in Australia and all throughout our world. So if you're not sure if the MGLs are for you, before you rule it out, I recommend that you read A Radical Way of Love and really learn about our charism, learn about the great things that God has done for us, and see if God inflames your heart as well.